Good morning. Happy Friday. Peace and blessings. How are you all doing today? Well, Friday is the day governed by Venus, and Venus is currently in Scorpio. And Venus is the ruler of this Mercury retrograde that we're in. And I feel like I've been talking about Mercury retrograde all week. Yesterday, I feel like I didn't talk about it as much, but Mercury retrograde for me is the only thing that's kind of going on. And just like a little, like, so I'm a Virgo sun with a Gemini moon, so I'm double Mercury. So whenever Mercury goes into retrograde, it literally just drags me along. Um, and so I feel so grateful to have really found astrology so that I could really learn what was regulating my emotions. Because retrogrades have always had such a profound effect on me and many of us. And we just, before we had astrology, I mean, we've always had astrology, but before I understood it, I just would take things personally. I just felt like, the world was against me, and, I just was an ultimate victim because I didn't recognize that that there were things that were influencing and that the planets were really impacting me in ways that I didn't realize. So today is a Venus Day. Venus Day is the day that I ask for donations. If the work that I do supports you or benefits you and you value this, I encourage you to just whatever, you can say thank you or you can give a donation. My Cash App is $ Monique Ruffin. My Venmo is @ Monique Ruffin, and I appreciate anything, whatever. And it's really about the reciprocity. It's about value, and that's been one of my greatest lessons in life, is really understanding my value. And today, like I said, Venus is in Scorpio, and I feel like my greatest life lesson has been understanding my own worth and value, really due to the way that I was raised and also being a Black person in this country. I just, as a child, felt worthless. Honestly, I have to really say that. Like, I felt really worthless. And it was associated with being brown skinned. It was associated with having a light skinned mother, and her sisters and siblings, they were all light skinned women. And that was a value thing in my family. I'm always aware of like some of the stuff that went on in my family that's like fucking ridiculous now. Like I had a grandmother who was the product of rape. Like, my great great grandmother was working in a man's house in Mississippi, and he raped her. And then my grandmother was produced from that, but because she was light skinned with long hair, everybody treated her like she was a queen and like she was beautiful, but nobody really realized like she was the product of rape. Like how horrific that was. So the value system was really askew. And oh, thank you so much. The value system was really askew, and my own sense of value and worth was always very entangled in, how I looked and how I didn't look. Really, it was entangled in how I didn't look, and so because of it, I didn't feel valuable, and so I used to give all of my energy away and just look up to people because they had, you know they had what felt like more value. They had parents, or they had parents who would love them, or they had nice clothes, and I could only see what I wasn't, and I couldn't see who I was. And so what that did was that it impacted my relationships. So I found that a number of my relationships were with people who needed to feel good about themselves. Like they needed somebody to look down upon. They needed somebody to have in their life to make them feel good about themselves. And so it's taken me a lot of years to really claim my own worth. I'm going to see if I can move a little bit, to really claim my own worth, it's taken me a lot of years to see my own value beyond how I look, or my complexion, or if my hair was fucking curly or not. Like, these are the bullshit ass things that were really prevalent in my community. And, for those of us who are black, you know what I'm talking about. Like, black people have often valued looking white and having a life that feels close to white. And as we heal and transform these things, we get to really look at our own value. And Venus and Scorpio is really knowing your power, really knowing your value, and not allowing yourself to be subject to conversations of value that are perpetrated through social sorry conversations of value that are based in your God-given right, not how you look, not how much fucking money you have, not what the culture says about you, not these made up notions of beauty that really are based in social agreements, based in slavery, right? Based in slavery, based in what the gosh, I'm trying to say this in a way that doesn't sound like brutal, but to have allowed white people to set the standard of what's beautiful, of what's worthy, what's valuable, is sad, because white people don't own that, and they don't live into it in a way that really is inclusive. And their ideas and the media of what beauty is and what value is not based on anything that really is substantial. It's based in all false notions. And so Venus in Scorpio is really asking us to look at our own real sense of value, right? And how we treat ourselves, and how we love ourselves, and how we create ourselves in the image and likeness of God. And that's been a huge lesson for me. It's just, when I tell you guys, I have done so much suffering around, not feeling beautiful and not feeling like, brown skin was worthy, not feeling like I was acceptable because I looked a certain way. It's just like all of these things are connected to our social conditioning. And because Venus in Scorpio is also our heritage, right? So it's what we inherit from our family structure. So much of mine for me was, I remember really feeling like, as a little girl, because my mother wasn't raising me, I felt like, oh, she's not raising me because I'm not pretty and things like that, right? Now, I don't know I'm sure that didn't have anything to do with why she didn't raise me. But as a child, that's what I associated it with. And so what we want to do is really begin to take that stuff back. While Mercury's in retrograde, we want to literally look at the places where you've given your energy away. If worthiness is a thing that has shown up in your life, I know for many of it is, for various reasons, right? But it's really, for me, it's like giving myself permission, forgiving myself for not seeing my own worth, forgiving myself for not seeing my own value, forgiving myself for selling myself short, and for allowing myself to be aligned with people who didn't really see me and love me, but were actually using my energy to make themselves feel better. And so I'm just forgiving myself for that. People do what they do. This is not a blame game or anything like that. I'm more interested in my own responsibility in this, and just understanding that I didn't know better. I really didn't know better. And the narratives that came to me came because most of these motherfuckers are all ignorant, really. People are just ignorant. They just are, because we align ourselves to the cultural standards and the cultural ways of being that really are false. So, with this Mercury retrograde, and like I said, Venus is at the 23rd degree of is at the 23rd degree of Scorpio, and that's the degree of randomness. And like I said, this Venus rules the Mercury retrograde that we're in. And so this is an opportunity to do self-forgiveness work. Really, it's about the self-forgiveness. And the self-forgiveness, and so it's like forgiving myself for the ways that I didn't see myself, forgiving myself for comparing myself to other people, forgiving myself for not seeing my own worth and value and short selling myself, forgiving myself for thinking according to the social standards and not according to the divine truth, like really taking that stuff back. And so I'm a little bit angry today. I'm a little bit like fucking pissed off. But at the same time, I keep asking myself, well, who are you pissed off at? I'm pissed off at myself, right? Because nobody's done anything to me that I didn't allow to have done. Nobody's participated in ways with me that I didn't equally participate in, right? So I'm not a victim of anything. I created all of this shit. So I literally am like, okay, I'm gonna let the anger roll through, but ultimately, I am simply just forgiving myself for the ways that I had not seen my value. And when I was little, I remember I have an auntie, and I still have her. I love her very much. And she's the most chocolate woman. She's just a chocolate drop. She's so chocolate. She's so chocolate, right? And sorry, it's a big truck passing by. And one day, when I was younger, she would always say, how come all your friends are light-skinned? Well, how come you got all these light-skinned friends? Because that's what I thought was pretty. And so I aligned myself with people who had light skin because that's what made me feel good. And really realizing, today that those relationships, not always, but sometimes were built on false notions of friendship. And I have to forgive myself for that. I really do. And I think I'm going to weep when I get off of this video, because there's a part of me that's just so sad that I didn't see myself. And that I allowed myself to be in spaces where people really didn't get it, and where the love really wasn't real. And so I have to just forgive myself. Yes. So with that, I love you guys very much. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for how you share here. Yesterday, you guys, all the comments and stuff, I so appreciate that, because I desire very much for us to be in these conversations so we can heal. This is how we heal, by telling the truth and giving ourselves permission to really own our part and how we participate in this. Yes, my Venmo is @Monique-Ruffin. @Monique-Ruffin. I'll put it in the comments here. All right, y'all. I love y'all, and we carry on. We carry on through this Mercury retrograde. So let's use the Mercury retrograde energy to get ourselves free and aligned to the power that we truly are. Peace and blessings, everyone. I love you guys. Bye-bye.